So I just got a mail call from the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. We're going to take a look at the new Major Bendies. I'm a big fan of Bendy figures, especially the WWF Just Toys Bendems. Love the line, even all the changes that it went through. So I'm very excited that Matt and Brian and Knick are bringing back these Bendies, and they look very similar to the original, so I really want to take a look at them, check out the packaging, check out the figures themselves, and really unbox this whole thing. So shout out to my man Knick, who came through with some really fast, super fast shipping. I believe these are limited to 1,000, and there's still some left on MajorWFPod merch right now as we speak. So, all right, so let's get this out of the way. First off, we're gonna take, first of all, this is packed really well, Knick. But yeah, also, if you haven't seen the Major Bendies, the Major Bendems, history of the Bendem figures on the MajorWFPod network, definitely check it out. It's a great watch. But we're gonna get this out of the way. We're gonna take a look at the snoozer of the set first. Frankly, the figure that nobody would have bought unless they had to. Smart Mark Sterling. The man who recently, unprovoked, after putting it over on multiple platforms, buried my book, The Ultimate Wrestling Figure Checklist, on the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast for no reason whatsoever. That was nice to hear and nice to read in all my DMs from everybody. So, you know, Smart Mark, for a guy who has smart in his name and points at his brain non-stop, you sure do talk before you think, don't you? So that's what I'm going to chalk this up as. You talking without thinking. But the off chance that's not the case here, and you have a problem with something, we can work it out. Because, you know, I do know that FWF Live 2 just passed, but I do know that FWF Live 3 is inevitable. So if we have to have a book on a pole match, I'm all game. Just let me know, Esquire. So let's take a look at the figure, though. Smart decision on their part, no pun intended, to place this in the Smart Mark Sterling Esquire, very blue, red, white, very reminiscent of his match with Jon Moxley. We have Mr. Silverballs, Dr. Silverballs himself. He's got all of his degrees on the back. His Smart Mark Sterling autograph, which to me it looks just like Matt Cardona's, so it's almost like he stole it. The feel of these is definitely a little bit different, but I like it. I feel like these are way more sturdy than the original WWF Bendems. I think the paint apps on this are actually really good. Look at the paint apps on Mark's face. I do think it was a smart move to go with this outfit. Because, I mean, this is like the most notable thing that Mark's done, right? In that match with Jon Moxley. But to me, the star of this whole show is being able to open these up and place them back into the packaging. So there it is. He's in the bubble. I have the backing card. Slide it right back on. And there it is. So now I can have it loose, have it mock, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I do like this card. I like that they redid the Major Bendies. It's got Smart Mark there, bending the Major Bendies logo. It's got them lined up just like it does on the WWF Bendems, MajorWFPod Network, ages 18 and up. I saw somebody comment on they really like this logo. This is actually the same as the original Bendems logo. It says bendable, posable, collectible. They put it in MajorWFPod colors. Looks great. 2021. Very excited for Series 2. So first up, we took a look at Smart Mark Sterling. Gonna put him back there. Next up, my man, what's this? nice. Nick added in some extra there, I see. Next up, we have my man, Matt Cardona. Good dude. If you haven't, definitely check out my interview with Matt. He's always putting over the Fig Heel stuff, and I'm always putting over the MajorWFPod stuff. Big fan of the Michael Jordan of wrestling figure collecting. Always have been, even in his Zack Ryder days, and I think that he definitely gets a bad rap, personally. So there he is, holding the Major Bendies logo. This one I like, I guess because Smart Mark has all of his degrees on his back, the autograph isn't as big, but Matt Cardona's is definitely much bigger. It's got Always Ready on the back. I gotta tell you, these paint apps on this are super, super clean. I'm very, very impressed. The paint apps on the front, even the small MCs on his knee pads, very crystal clear. He's got the skull, the Broski skull, the MC on the front of the trunks, MC on the boots. Now, no, even like look at the face apps, like the eyes, the tongue, great paint apps on these. I don't know what factory they use, but they definitely picked a good one because these do look phenomenal. And that's me being 100% honest, not just putting these over because I like the guys. These look phenomenal. I mean, I'm a fan of the WWF Bendems, but I don't think any WWF Bendem that I have has as clean a paint app as these. And that's just me being honest. If you don't like the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, if you don't like, Matt, Brian, any of them, if you don't like them, that's fine, but you cannot deny that the detail on these is definitely there, and the paint applications are perfect. Like, there is not a run in the paint on this. This looks phenomenal. So bravo to you guys. Good job, Matt. Good job, Brian. Good job, Knick. Looks awesome. Looks awesome. Just testing out to see how they stand. I can adjust the feet and he'll stand. I think I'm going to display these loose with my WWF Bendems. But man, these look good. Even the tape on the hand. It's all molded. Phenomenal. This exceeded my expectations, I gotta say. Really did. The price point on these is $100. So you're paying $25 a piece, obviously, with some shipping in there. But I mean, I think that's great, especially when you consider that these are like a retro style product. There's certain figures in the line that if you were going to complete the Bendems line, you would pay more than $25. So I look at, same thing when I look at like retro figures. There's there's figures in the Hasbro collection that would cost, hundreds of dollars. So to get a new figure to add to that collection that's going to cost like $40, say for a Cella, I really don't think it's bad. Is it above market value when you look at Mattel retros? Maybe. Well, not maybe, but yes. But it is a lower quantity product. And like I said, these for $25 each, there's only 1,000 of them made. It's a pretty good deal. So my Brian Myers is a little bent up, which is disappointing. But man, look at that. I think he's got the coolest Major Bendies, bending the logo there. Slide this one out. So he's in his black and orange singlet. It's got his autograph on the back of his singlet. Very cool. So I'm noticing that these are actually two-piece. So they're split at the waist, which is a little bit unlike the WWF because there's a little space in this one. You can see my other ones, there's not as big a space, so I didn't even notice until right now. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do to make something. Maybe it's easier to produce them that way, to get the bendy bars in there. I don't know, but not a bad thing. Just pointing it out. He's got the Myers logo on the side of his trunks, and it's got a lot of fine detail. He's got the Hannibal Lecter mask on. It says Myers on the forehead. He's got the Myers M on his kick pads, his taped hands. Honestly, I think that this, of all the figures, is the best likeness on one of the Major Bendems. because they are cartoony. Don't get these thinking you're gonna get a head scan style figure, because you're not. These are sculpts, and then that's the point. These are supposed to look cartoony. I like them. I think, I gotta be honest, these 100% exceeded my expectations. I'm very excited for this line. I'm excited to get Series 2, which has Nick Gage, which is a must-have for me. It's got Brian Pillman, Danhausen, and who else is in there? I forget. Forget who else is in Series 2. It's probably going to come to me as soon as I'm done recording this. But yeah, so there we have the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers. And last but not least, and there's something else in here we're going to talk about, we have Swoggle. Now, the reason that I love this is that we all know we were supposed to get Dink the Clown in the WWF Bendies. We did get Paul Bearer, but we never really got that little person style. So this is kind of like paying homage to that in my mind. It's an ode to that. And this is probably the best carding that I got of the whole set is Swoggle. And his is pretty cool because he's like screaming. My thing that I'm noticing though is that this logo of their heads up here is just, they took the head off of the card on the back, which we're gonna take a look at soon. It's got the autograph on it. I saw someone say that this man, this is so cool. I saw someone say that this Bendham looks like Seth Rollins, and I guess in a sense I can see why people think that, but I think it's, like I said, it's supposed to be a cartoon style of Swaggle, so that's what if somebody didn't point out like, oh, he's got like the Seth Rollins hair or whatever like that, I wouldn't even have thought that. I think it looks phenomenal. I think it looks great. It's got the Swaggle autograph on the back. He's got Swaggle on the back of his pants. He's got the singlet top striped in green with the S on the front. We've got the stars, the X's, even a small Swaggle on the front around the belt area. Untaped hands. He's super small. I mean, look at that. But the best part to me is the Swaggle skull with the green beard, the green hat. I think that is such a sick logo. This looks awesome. And guys, I'm telling you, the detail. Look at the detail in the teeth. If I can get it to focus a little bit better. Man, this looks awesome. It's got the checkers around the bottom. And they're not like super bendable, but that's okay. I do think it's interesting that it's legs top. I wonder what the reason behind doing that was. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm just curious what the plus side of that was. So I gotta say, guys, all jokes aside of everything, I do think they look really cool. It's hard for me to pick a favorite of these. But real quick before I go over them again, Kinnick also included these cards. They're card versions of the major bendy things, and they have their information on the back. So let's look at them. We got Matt Cardona, weight 230 pounds, Long Island, New York, and his finishing move is the radio silence. It's got his Matt Cardona autograph right there. We've got Brian Myers, 231 pounds, Bayside, New York, and his finishing move is the roster cut. And there's his Brian Myers autograph. Pretty cool. I'm gonna put these in top loaders, all four of them. Swoggle, 156 pounds from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And the finishing move is the Swoggle Stunner. And there is the Swoggle graph. And last but not least, we have Smart Mark Sterling. Weight, 199.333333 pounds. Honestly, the guy you have is pretty creative. From Boston, Massachusetts. Finishing move, the Injunction. And there's Smart Mark Sterling. And I think that square with a line in it. I'm guessing that's like a graduation cap on top of everything, unless I'm completely not understanding it. But I mean, it's a pretty cool picture. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about these. So as I said, I noticed that the back is the back picture, the card, is the same thing that they use on the Bendies logo right there. But for Mark and Matt, it is not. So yeah, pretty happy with these. Here we have Matt Cardona. We have Brian Myers. We have Swaggle. And we have Smart Mark Sterling. So, hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And pick up Mark Sterling's favorite book, The Ultimate Wrestling Figure Checklist. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Peace. Are you a wrestling figure collector? Of WWE Mattel, AEW Jazzwares, and everything in between? Then you need Fig Heel's Ultimate Wrestling Figure Checklist, a 500-plus page guide to over 40-plus years of wrestling figure collecting. As heard on the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, it features WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, TNA, NJPW, AEW, Ring of Honor, AWA, Dragon Gate, CMLL, AJPW, AAA, and more. Professionally organized so you can keep track of mock, loose, value, and much more. Fig Heel's Ultimate Wrestling Figure Checklist, available now on Amazon.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FigHeel. Check out my book series on Amazon and my merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com/FigHeel. Head over to Heroes Hideout for all your figure needs and use code FigHeel at checkout to save 10%.